you ever dreamt of a better version of yourself? Younger, more beautiful, more perfect.
Hey guys, Society Reviews here, my review of the film The Substance. There's no bigger plight in modern Hollywood than a 50-year-old actress who is no longer the attraction that she was in her 30s and her 20s. Even today, you hear from 30-year-old actresses complaining about the fact they're not getting as many opportunities as their 20-year-old counterparts receive. Because the women in the industry are so obsessed with fame and attention, the reality of no longer having that same level of fame and attention that you did 7 years prior is quite literally the worst case scenario for women in Hollywood. Women in the industry were willing to sleep with Harvey Weinstein to keep their status in the business. If that doesn't prove to you the lengths that some women will go to maintain fame, then maybe this film could draw a better picture for you. A film that is hailed as a feminist horror movie will certainly try to portray its message in one direction, but in the course of doing that, it always managed to expose the real story behind the level of debauchery from the entertainment industry. The Substance stars Demi Moore as Elizabeth Sparkle, an award-winning actress who has now been relegated to a popular TV aerobics show. Once a superstar who received her star in the Hollywood Walk of Fame is now fired on her 50th birthday and gets in a car accident after seeing her billboard get taken down. At the hospital, she receives a flash drive from a shady nurse labeled The Substance, which promotes a mysterious serum that when injected creates a younger, more beautiful model of yourself. However, the two entities are still connected as one, meaning that they must work in harmony with one another or both end up in destruction. Desperate for the attention she once held, Elizabeth orders and ejects this product called the Activator, causing a younger version of herself to be born from the slit of her back. The younger version of Liz is referred to as Sue, played by Margaret Qualley. Sue becomes an overnight sensation doing the same job that Elizabeth was doing, but the network executives love her because she is a younger and hotter version of Liz. As the two try to share one existence, the fame becomes the driving factor between the two entities, which leads to one attempting to steal time from another, which leads to a horrifying backlash for both women involved. The Substance is two halves of a good movie. When the film plays up to the psychological horror elements of the movie, The Substance is 2/3 of a movie that's one of the better films of 2024. Demi Moore strips down her ego and literally everything else in one of the best performances of the year, highlighting the struggles of an aging actress struggling to maintain the relevancy that she once had in an industry that's slowly pushing her away. The film attempts to dress down the unrealistic beauty standards of the entertainment industry, which at times talks out of both sides of his mouth. Certainly no one can argue that Demi Moore at the age of 61 still looks amazing, especially in this film, but that's not the validation and the message that the film seeks. A perfect example of this is when the character of Liz reconnects with an old childhood friend who is still very much interested in her as the woman that she currently is. But then inexplicably, Liz blows off this character because the validation that she seeks is not from him but from the industry. It is that validation that leads to the protagonist going to extreme methods to maintain a piece of her relevancy through the use of Sue. Margaret Qualley, who plays the character of Sue, stretches herself to her emotional limits, playing the over-sexualized character in the film. Margaret, who admitted to taking up drugs and alcohol to complete this movie, plays a completely different side of the Hollywood coin. A woman in her 20s who is super attractive, yet the attention that she receives blinds her to the broad path of destruction that she's currently on. The film is really a critique of the feminine nature when at its best it inadvertently highlights the level of depravity that people in the industry will go to receive self-validation. While the film thinks that it's a critique of beauty standards, in reality it's a critique of unbound narcissism that drives Hollywood to this day. When The Substance plays on the psychological traits of the character, the film is brilliant. What causes the film to fall flat on its face is in the final act, the movie inexplicably decides to take a turn for over-the-top gore in a manner that completely clashes with the narrative that the film tries to establish, which is going to leave audiences with a movie that's either going to play up to critics who are admiring the message of the movie, at the same time chasing away its own audience members who bought into the more grounded aspects of the sci-fi before turning into complete schlock. The Substance should be a top 10 movie of the year, but the final 20 minutes stretches on far too long and produces the cinematic equivalent of fumbling the ball at the goal line. When all is said and done, you have a movie that's attempting to make a statement that in reality reveals the true nature of those who are attacking the system and then fails to deliver a satisfying ending on top of it. With that said, it's certainly a film worth seeing, but it will be one of the most polarizing films of 2024. I give this film a 3 out of 5.
Pretty girls should always smile.